One of my favorite years in school was the 8th grade. I remember it well because I was 13 years old and felt like the king of junior high. That's because it was our final year of junior high and we were having a ball. I remember the winter formal, Sadie Hawkins, and more. But wouldn't it have been crazy at the age of 13 if I couldn't do all that because I had to get married? I know that sounds crazy, right? But some cultures get married at that age. It's a requirement. This reminds me of a great man in history by the name of Mohandas Gandhi. That is because when he was 13, he had to get married. Mohandas Gandhi was a legendary civil rights leader who stood up for the rights of Indian people, using acts of nonviolence through protests and fasting so he could help them achieve equality and fair treatment. Now check this out. Mohandas Gandhi was born in Porbandar, India on October 2nd, 1869. His family lived well there in India, and after he got married, they wanted him to be a lawyer. Following his parents' wishes, he went into law and eventually worked for a law firm in South Africa. This is where, as he saw people being treated bad, he knew he had to stand up and do something. There was a lot of prejudice there in South Africa against Indians, and Mohandas knew he couldn't stand for it, so he stood up against those who treated his people unfairly. You see, much of the same thing happened there when he returned home. That's right, Indian people were still being treated bad, and Mohandas started doing demonstrations by standing up to the British rule there in India. In order to try to help his people, Mohandas organized nonviolent protests, which did not make the British happy. The reason the British weren't happy was because with so many Indians protesting, it would literally shut the city down because they wouldn't show up to work or go to court, and everything was crazy. After protesting, Mohandas was also thrown in prison. This did not stop him though from standing up, as he fasted there in jail and would not eat. The British feared they would have a bigger problem on their hands if Mohandas died in prison due to not eating. They ended up freeing him from prison because they didn't want him to die there and make everybody angry. One of his greatest demonstrations was against a salt tax there in Britain. You see, to buy salt, the British wanted to charge extra money. In order to show that he would not stand for this tax, Mohandas walked 241 miles to the sea to make his own salt. Many other Indians saw his efforts too, and they stood up against the British government, marching along with him. These type of demonstrations inspired many civil rights leaders around the world, including the likes of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in the United States. Mohandas Gandhi died on January 30th, 1948, after being assassinated by a terrorist. Although his life was taken, his memory lives on in the world of civil rights, and his legacy will always be remembered. Even till this day, his birthday is a national holiday in India, and his life story serves as a reminder of the difference that the actions of one man can achieve by standing up against unfair treatment.